Hey guys, good to see you. Hope you guys are doing well. Um, Today, I just want to check in and give a little preview and go preview of and review of our first writing assignment for distance learning. It's not going to be that different from our normal writing assignments. It's actually going to be the same, but just in case, especially since I'm not there, with you in the classroom the way we would have been normally, I did want to take some time to just kind of go over it so we're all on the same page. As you saw on your calendar, it's going to be a TEEP for the chosen, and we're going to get going right away, get some writing, get some feedback. It's going to be nice. Kind of build some of that analytical understanding of the chosen, even as we get into the book right from the very beginning. So before I switch over to showing you the document, the prompt, I just want to remind you this is going to be on Google Docs when I actually upload it to the to your assignment. I haven't had a chance to convert it over yet at the time of this video, so you're going to see it in my old knockoff free version of Microsoft Word. Not it's not going to be exactly the same in terms of like the program, but all the the prompt is going to be the same, so you can expect that. All right, let's get right into it. So when you see your assignment, you're going to see that you have two options. This one's a little bit different because, again, this is the original. I haven't switched it over to Google Docs. When we did it in the classroom, I had it on half sheets to try to save paper and stuff, save the trees. And so I'll change the formatting a little bit. So like right now you're going to see two different options for two different copies of option one. They're exactly the same, so just ignore that as I'm scrolling. Okay, so you're going to see that you have two options. Your first option is going to be diction related to war. Remember, anytime we're talking about diction, you have to specify what kind of diction. Diction just means word choice. And if you say an author uses words that they choose, duh. So you have to specify what kind of words they're choosing. In this case, the prompt already tells you, diction related to war. If you think back to chapter 1, oh yeah, Mr. Gallanter actually does that a lot. He has a lot of these like metaphors and analogies and descriptions that are all related to war. So this is going to be one of your options. Your other option is going to be about symbolism, and symbolism of Reuven's glasses and or eyes. So we're going to do some taking apart the prompt. I'm going to talk about these a little bit. We're going to do some taking apart the prompt steps before you guys get a chance to type them up and work on your own. So let's start with the first option. And just to clarify, you can pick either option. You do not have to do both. You're just going to pick one of them. It doesn't matter whether it's option 1 or option 2, but you just pick one, and whatever one you think makes more sense to you or that you want to spend your time analyzing, choose that one. So we have a 2-paragraph prompt, normal kind of college AP style prompt we're very used to. We know that in this kind of prompt, we're going to read both paragraphs. We're going to find which of those paragraphs, or maybe both, have the actual instructions in them, and we're going to focus on that paragraph. So I'll give you guys a minute, or why don't you just pause your video or look over at your document, and you can take a moment to read the prompt yourself. So either pause the video or maybe you've already read the prompt. Either way, take a moment. And we're back. So hopefully you pause the video so you could read the prompt. And you know what it says, because from here on we're going to assume that you've already read it. So a couple reminders before we go on to the well, actually let's switch over to the taking apart of prompt steps. Here we go. I did our taking apart of prompt steps. Hopefully, if you did them, they look the same, or it looks very similar. We have 2 action words, analyze and use. The main thing we're going to be focusing on is the significance. So this is kind of a synonym word for what's the purpose or what's the point. Why is the author doing this? And this is a good reminder that prompts will often do this. They're will use synonym language that maybe you're going to see one thing on the AP test, but when you actually go to college, your college professor is going to describe it a little bit differently, or your teacher in 10th or 11th grade is going to have slightly different ways of talking about what they want you to do. So this is just a good reminder that even though a lot of your teachers or in the future professors might describe things a little bit differently, almost all the time they're really talking about the same stuff. And so when we see analyze the significance here, we know that actually means the same thing as analyze the purpose of Mr. Gallanter's diction. And so once we know, oh hey, this is the purpose, we know that's going to be the second thing we're going to analyze in our TEEP. Additionally, we can tell that this will not be the first part of our TEEP because this part of the TEEP, oh, well, I'm in box drawing mode, sorry. This part of the TEEP, we can't do that until we prove that, hey, he actually does use a specific kind of diction. And the prompt already gives us an idea of diction we might want to use. Now, we're going to notice that diction related to war isn't actually in the instruction part of the prompt. So you can phrase it a little bit differently, but this is a great idea, and the prompt gives you that great idea. Use those ideas from your prompt. You don't have to go and try to find something new when your prompt already tells you what to look for. It gives you that big hint, especially for timed writing situations. That's going to be something you want to take advantage of. If the prompt gives you a hint or gives you a pointer, take advantage of it. That way you don't have to do all that on your own. You're going to have enough to do on your own as it is, especially in a timed situation. And even though this isn't really a time situation, you're going to have a couple days to get this TEEP done. So it's timed, but it's a long time. Why not take the recommendations and pointers the assignment's giving you? So we know we're going to focus on diction related to war probably. And then we're going to say, okay, why is this important? Now we're going to notice the prompt, it doesn't give us a specific purpose we have to focus on. So that means we get to come up with our own purpose. Use your TEEP notes. I'm going to repost those on Synergy. They should be already up there by the time you see this video. And I think they're already posted in Google Classrooms as well. I will double check that so that they will be up there by the time this video comes out as well. So you have lots of different options. And again, while you can use those options on your TEEP notes, I highly recommend them. You're going to have great options there that can give you really, really good results. If you have an inspiration that is outside of those, as long as it's based in our literary analysis, a literary term, then you're probably going to be great. So, use your inspiration as well as your notes to figure out what purpose you're going to focus on. One thing I do want to point out about this prompt is whenever we talk about diction is word choice. Well, first we have to name what kind of specific kind of word choice it is. So let's just say you go with diction related to war or something like that. So you're talking about diction related to war that Mr. Gallanter uses. Okay, totally cool. But if he just does it once, that's really not a choice. It could be just a random thing. It's only when we see it again and again and again that we know, oh, hey, it's a pattern, it's intentional, it's a thing that the author is having the character do. And so when we're analyzing diction, we need to see multiple examples of it. So we know, hey, it's not just a one-off thing. It's not like Mr. Gallanter is always using these words. He just said it one time. It's not like a part of his character or something to notice. So make sure if you're choosing the diction prompt, you're giving more than one example of his diction related to war. They don't have to be long quotes, right? It could be even just one quote or maybe, a phrase, a few words, but make sure we have a couple different examples of those to prove that he's using that kind of diction. Besides that, this prompt is just following our taking part of prompt steps. The squiggly lines for the things we have to do to make sure we're getting points. Our two parts of our analysis, the diction is going to come first. It's going to be our explanation section, and then the purpose is going to come after. We can tell that because we can't explain the significance of it until we've proven like, hey, the author, the character is actually doing it. Very cool. All right, let's take a look at the second prompt in case you guys choose to do the second prompt, and you're totally welcome to. Okay, so here's the second prompt. If you haven't read it yet, please, pause the video to read it, and pause the video if you're going to choose this one. Pause the video so you can do your taking apart of prompt steps if you're interested in that, because when we come back, when you press unpause, we're going to see the taking apart of prompt steps for this prompt as well. So hit pause. And we're back. Yay! The magic of technology. So I'm assuming you've read it and you've done the taking apart of prompt steps, so you can get the practice on doing that on your own. Even though the taking apart of prompt steps aren't points, this is the habit we want to get into so that we can better understand prompts. And when we're in a timed right situation, sometimes we can get really nervous, kind of like blank out. Well, if you already have this habit of marking it up, you don't have to worry about blanking out because it's just a habit. You don't even have to worry about what am I going to do? What am I going to write? I don't even know how to respond to the prompt. You can avoid that by having this background and habit of, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark up the prompt. And that'll give you something to focus on in those first few, like, nerve-wracking minutes of, a timed write. So you can mark it up. You know what you're going to do for the first, 30 seconds, minute of the time. You know what you're doing. You're understanding what the prompt says. That can help you decrease your stress levels, which can help our critical thinking. But also, while you're doing that and you're forcing yourself to read the prompt again, analyze, is this an instruction? Is this not instructions? What part of the prompt is this? Is this going to be, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? Purpose, explanation, all those kinds of things. When you're attacking it from a slightly different angle, that can allow your brain to understand what you're being asked to do in a different way, in a way that can help you generate ideas. So I definitely recommend doing the taking apart of prompt steps, even when they're not points. Okay, so if you did the taking apart of prompt steps, here's what they hopefully look like to you. We have our what, our underline. Once again, it's significance, kind of a code word for the purpose. This time, the how we're going to lead up to the significance is we're going to focus on the symbolism of Reuben's glasses. This will be our explanation section. So you're going to explain why Reuben's glasses and or eyes, you can choose, are a symbol. And once you do that, again, you have your purpose options. Totally cool. I do want to give you guys that reminder. If you go the symbolism route, you should have a part that very clearly says blank represents blank. And we know the first blank is going to be Reuben's glasses or eyes represent blank. And you should see that in your paper somewhere. So as you're typing it out, as you're getting your draft going, you can look back, and you have more time than we normally do when we have timed writes. So look back, look it over, and make sure you have that. Glasses symbolize blank, or eyes represent blank. You can use those synonyms, that's totally fine, but make sure you have that very directly stated in there, not only for your own self, so you can help make sure your writing's focused, but also so you know you're responding to the prompt, because sometimes we can just try to get too fancy, and we wind up kind of going off the mark. So please make sure you're checking that for your own self there as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any other questions, feel free to email me, send me a response. The way these should be set up when you see it in Google Docs, I'm going to delete this extra one since I'm not making a half sheet. So you're going to see both options on one page. It would be a little bit easier for me, but if you forget, it's no big deal. If you could just, when you're modifying the Word document, these prompts come on, if you can just delete the prompt that you're not going to use and then put your response underneath, that's going to be an extra fast way for me to know, oh, here's what this person's focused on. That said, I'm going to see it in your topic sentence anyway, so no big deal. But, just for the sake of also keeping yourself focused when you're typing, if you leave that prompt on the page, you can kind of do a self-check as you're going or once you're done to make sure you're focused on the right parts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're enjoying your time back at school, even though it's not really at school, it's distance learning. I hope that's all going well, and I hope you and your people are staying safe and healthy, and I hope you're excited about a TEEP. I mean, that's just the best. Oh, man. Oh, I'm jealous. You guys get to write TEEPs. Luckily, I'm going to get to grade all of them. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me emails, student view or whatever, and that'll be totally good. So, ladies and gentlemen, until I would say I see you. Until you see me via video again, I hope you guys have a great quarter four and things keep going well. I'll see you guys later. Bye.